Yeah, thank you. So, wonderful introduction, and I really thank Professor Arijit and this beautiful crowd over here and honorary guests. I am a simpleton. I am relatively a simpleton. I am coming from Bangalore. My parents came down from various parts of Karnataka. Like in those 70s and 80s, there would be migration towards Bangalore or towards urban cities. Now we are having a reverse migration. That's a different matter. So, in search of dana, pani, ashiana, they came to Bangalore as state government employees, living in a rental house. So, the house owner would be a little aggressive. I mean, we were children, so we just hear from our parents and would be aggressive and say, "Ghar khali kar do," or just leave the house. I'll be getting a tenant for a higher rent. So, what would have been their purpose in their existence at that time? Simpletons coming from various parts of the state, coming to a big city at that time. Bangalore was definitely the biggest city in Karnataka, and looking for some kind of a survival and existence. But then their purpose became to live with dignity, to have some kind of a recognition in society. So, when in pursuit of dignity, they strive so much. They brought up two children, myself and my elder brother. By the way, he's a cardiac surgeon also. So the two of us were brought up, and then they really pushed us. Now, to begin with, I don't think I was thinking of being a doctor from my school days. I was actually very, very amazed with physics, astrophysics, and those fields. But there was an untimely death of my grandfather. Actually, I was very close to him. So close to him that I would confide into him more than anyone. And in fact, my relatives say I resemble my grandfather by behavior and looks and all of those things. So he died alone of a heart attack in the city bus traveling from Shivajinagar to my house. That really disturbed me. That was a very changing time for me. In fact, I could hear him calling me sometimes. That kind of disturbance in my childhood. I was in my middle school at that time. And my parents also was thinking, बच्चों को डॉक्टर बनाना है. If you become doctors, they would have their perspective. You will be more contributive in the society. You will have a kind of a recognition. And as state government employees, there would be some kind of a pecking order in every organization there is. But as doctors, they would say they would think that you would not be subservient to anyone. You will be an independent person. So finally came to become a doctor. So again, fast forward to the current situation. I am a cardiologist in this hospital in Bangalore called as Baptist Hospital. But the journey is not so simple. Becoming a doctor or becoming a cardiologist is still not very simple. During this process, I had to deal with personal turmoils, family issues. In fact, my father had something what we call as depression bordering onto schizophrenia. That was in the beginning of my career as cardiologist, in still my training days. For all you might not be, and depression is a simple term. When you have low mood, everybody will talk about depression, but nobody takes attention, nobody seeks attention. And a depressed soul or a depressed mind will not think of even taking the initiative to go and take some care. And added to that, there was a schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is an element where you have detachment to reality in life. You have all sorts of false beliefs, like somebody is going to come and harm you, or there's no water in the house, the drainage is blocked. And it's not a individual disease, it affects the entire family. And first, to recognize this particular disease and get its treatment. And during this process, I had already joined the training for cardiology, and I was almost losing my aim. My aim was to become a cardiologist. I was already losing my aim. But somehow, I thank my wife, my family, by the time I was married, by the way. So they all were the tremendous support behind me. So although my passion and my profession was matching, so I thank God, I thank my family and thank my stars that I'm a cardiologist now. So those are the situations. In my practice, every day is a learning. Every day in every individual is a learning. In my practice as a cardiologist, I come across so many situations. I come across so many patients. I don't decide only to treat the disease. I look at the patient. I look at the family. I look at the patient's, what is his background? What has brought him to this kind of a volcanic eruption kind of a situation? Be it a heart attack, be it a heart failure, or various other diseases that we treat as cardiologists. One such patient which I can talk of is a very young girl. She came as a happy individual. She was recently married. She came to deliver, she is Bangalore based and her husband is in Chennai. In fact, I had to take his permission to talk about her. So after the delivery, she suddenly had a crash. So I was called into the ICU. We saw the child, and then we realized that she's having something called as a pulmonary artery hypertension. This is another very difficult disease entity with cardiologists. It's a nightmare for the cardiologist because there's nothing which treats really this kind of a disease. We have medications, we have heart-lung transplantations, all of those things. But unfortunately, the disease took over her. And all of us knew, she also knew, we also had made it clear to her that her life is not more than 1 to 2 years after giving birth to a beautiful baby boy. So what would have been her thought process? What would she be thinking? Okay, the doctors told me that I am going to live only 1.5 years. How will I live? Is there any purpose in my life? How can I survive? But I had a constant follow-up with her. Whenever she used to come to my clinic, I would be in an emotional kind of a loophole. I would just go down. And she would give me an angelic, beautiful smile. That smile is always there in my mind. It will always remain. She gave me a reassuring smile. And that smile was enough. She would say, and that smile, that message was there. I know, doctor, I am going to live my life. Please take care of yourself. I am here to see you. You give what treatment you can. And some beautiful memories her husband has shared with me. I can see that those 2 years that she lived beautifully with her children, with her child and her husband. And those 1.5 years that she spent, the people who are left behind are living with that. So under any adversity, under any kind of a circumstance or a situation, there is a purpose. So that was her purpose. Another middle-aged lady who runs a school for underprivileged children. She is a survivor of breast cancer. She had various other medical comorbidities. She is on oxygen therapy. In the lowest stage of her medical condition, she would say, doctor, when can I go back and see my children? The children in her school. So that drive was there for her, that passion. Even in the depths of her disease, oxygen, non-invasive pressure mask that we give, that's a ventilator kind of a setting, I need to go back to my children. And that drive, that courage in her, definitely treatment made a lot of difference, but she came out of it. And she's still on medications, and whenever she comes, she instills that courage and that kind of energy in me. All of us have our personal turmoils. My father is again back into a phase of depression and schizophrenia. Even I have my personal difficulties. But when I meet these patients, these individuals, these great souls, we get energized again. Everybody is great in their personal walks of life. Everybody is an achiever. So coming back to myself, we have something called as a profession or a passion or a hobby, something which drives us. There is chaos in our day-to-day life. There is always chaos. This is called as life. And there is a fact. God has told, Kullu nafsin zaikatul maut. That means every soul shall taste death. So that is a certainty. We should live every moment of our life God has given us. Not just survive. Live happily. Find passion. Find passion in your profession, in your hobby. Find something which keeps you afloat. Find that music in that chaos in your life. That drives you. That will keep you afloat. And see, family, social commitments, whatever it is, these are necessities in your life. I cannot, presume or say that passion will be lying in your commitment, whether it is family or social. Something which drives you will help you survive all of these personal battles, small battles that you always face in day-to-day life. So every morning when I get up and I come to my workplace, I will be thinking, let's have a good day. Let's see what my passion is, my patients, my profession. In fact, one of my patients, when in one of my troubled days, she told me, why don't you meditate, doctor? So I was thinking, meditation is like ekang. Your mind is concentrating on one particular thing. So I told her, see madam, my concentration, utmost concentration comes when I'm operating on my patient. So I consider that as my meditation. So fortunately in my situation, my profession, my passion corresponds, go together, and my meditation or my peace of my mind I get when I take care of my patients. So all of us need to find something which drives us. Our life has lots of ups and downs. It is always there. And every time we need to try to reassess our goals. We will be trying to achieve. They will be achievers. I am not telling I am the best cardiologist in the country. I am a happy cardiologist. That's very important. There are top-notch cardiologists. But in every walks of our lives, we will be aiming to reach that pinnacle. in our personal lives. But always be realistic in our aims, in our aspirations. Right? Need to understand and need to be realistic also. Aim, strive, but also be ready to fall short of your aims and be happy about what your achievements are. Look at the glass of water, not look at the empty part of the glass of the water. It's extremely important. So every time, try to redefine success and happiness. See, the expectations will define our satisfaction and happiness. So how much are we expecting from our personal selves? How much are we expecting from our lives? This is extremely important. And I hope all of us embrace the uniqueness of our own personal existence. God has given us our lives and be happy about what we are gifted with. Thank you.